So I have been working on uploading some of our sessions. So those of you who want to follow along later in the week, or when we're obviously not meeting, or you want to share some of what we're doing with your friends and family, you can, because I'm adding more classes. So I'll send an announcement out so that you can check these out. So just taking a moment to allow your body to be still, practicing chiasterium. So chiasterium isn't just a thing that we do when we sit up at the end of class, and it's not just a meditation practice. It's an actual process that we consciously allow to happen. We choose to move, so or not. So just allow yourself to be still for just a moment so that you can notice how you're feeling this morning as you start the 6th week of your classes at Cleveland State. And I've been asking you, how's your energy overall? But see if you are able to locate any energy or prana, it's another name for energy, within your body. Like, can you feel that energy moving now? I ask you to check to see if you can feel it after we do a few movements, but as you're lying still, see if you can feel it pulsating throughout your whole body, or if that's not possible, so you don't feel anything, you're like, what is she talking about? Try going to a specific body part. So maybe your hand. Notice if you can feel any vibration there. Notice if you feel anything maybe in your feet. And if the answer is no, then go somewhere where I think it could be pretty obvious. Go to your heart and see if you can feel the energy being generated by the beating heart. Just making that connection. I'm talking a lot about being aware and using the breath to be aware, but another way to bring yourself into the present moment is to connect with your body through feeling the energy of your body. And it seems sometimes a little counterintuitive. So for example, you're having a major discussion with somebody and you just can't wait to say your part, to explain, to be understood. And when you're doing that, you're obviously not listening to the other person. So I encourage you to try going to your own body and just feeling your own body. Maybe you're feeling your heartbeat. Maybe you're following your breath. But bring your awareness to you, and you will be able to be more present in that moment for whomever you're talking to. So shift your awareness to your breath now. Okay, so sometimes that's even easier to feel that energy generated. So as you start to breathe with awareness, you'll start to notice where you're going to feel the breath. And obviously that's going to move the body and create or move the energy in various areas that are related to the breath. So you may feel more energy or more movement in your chest and your abdomen. And just focusing on the breath and how it moves the body, allowing both of those things to anchor you into this moment. And as I've been doing the last few weeks, I've been putting up a little quote, and then I'm trying now to put up our practice plan so that you can start to make a mental connection between some of these words that I'm using that are maybe not familiar, such as Pawanmuktasana, Asana, Pranayama, Yoga Nidra. So you have that mental connection. But my quote of the day today has to do with about being kind. And I think as we're moving into this election, and without being political in any way, although it's really kind of hard not to be, being kind is something that we all need to do. And this quote just says, being rude is easy. It does not take any effort and is a sign of weakness and insecurity. Kindness shows great self-discipline and strong self-esteem. Being kind is not always easy when dealing with rude people. Kindness is a sign of a person who has done a lot of personal work and has come to a great self-understanding and wisdom. Kindness is a sign of strength. So just keeping that as we move through today's class. And true kindness begins with you. And it begins with your own self-talk. So a lot of us tell ourselves how stupid we are. We tell ourselves, what failures we are and how we aren't good enough. So we aren't being kind to ourselves. So if we can't be kind to ourselves, how can we really be kind to others? So keeping that in mind, noticing those unkind thoughts, as well as that need to push when you know something doesn't feel good. You're being unkind to yourself. Be kind to yourself, and then that kindness will spread to all those that you come in contact with. Well, maybe not all of them, but it'll certainly become easier as you practice it on yourself. So bring the awareness from my babbling to your body, and from your body to the floor beneath you. And then slowly make your way up and over to one side. And we're going to start today with the Pawan Muktasana ones, as we have been. Just a few, and then go into some of the digestive. And then from there, we're going to do a couple of classical asanas. And depending on our time, we will be doing Kayasterium as well as breathing practice. But we may do an extra stage of the Kayasterium if there's time. So that means more sitting still. I'm sure you are looking forward to that. All right, so coming into the base position. And we're starting with the half butterfly. So we're going to continue with this one. As a lot of the joint mobilities are going to fall off as we're bringing on new asana, the hip ones we're going to keep, because those are the ones that really are going to help us sit comfortably, help loosen up what most of us have a lot of tightness in our hips. So bring your right knee, bend your right knee, bringing your right foot into your thigh, unless you know that you have the flexibility and your leg is completely flush to the ground and you don't have knee pain, then you can bring it up here. Otherwise, bring it right here, sit up nice and tall, 15 times on each side. So some of you, I had put something through Starfish. We're asked to kind of look at everyone's attendance, and obviously it's the only thing I have to grade you on right now. So some of you might have gotten a note that says, something about your attendance. And I told you I am taking attendance, obviously not in the way that I would prefer, but I am keeping track. And so if you had a note, just send me an email, because you're allowed to miss 4. Obviously more than that is not great, and I will probably try to give you some other options if you get to that point. But remember, and I will say this always, and I guess it's kind of the way I sort of mom you guys, even though you're not my children. Show up for you. This class is about you. And when you choose not to show up for yoga, you're choosing to not show up for you. Really. I mean, some days, yeah, you got to do what you got to do. But for the most part, even if you don't want to be here, come anyways. Trust me when I tell you that the benefits of coming will really be worth it. Go to the second side. Even if you're not connected when you're here, you're still getting some benefits. And the more connected you can be, the more benefits. The more that you will make your body and mind more flexible. So 15 on the second side, of course, so you're not lopsided. So your spine should be straight. Some of you I see are kind of moving like this. So organize your core so it's engaged. Crown of the head is moving upward, and you're just taking the knee up and down. So some of you might feel a little bit of shaking if you're having trouble sitting up. These toes are, the outstretched leg as the toes are pointing upward, which is getting that stretch into the hamstring as well. So stretching the legs out. We'll do one more for the hips. We'll do the full butterfly today. So please bring the soles of your feet together. And if by chance we lose connection, I had problems during the 9-10, please don't leave. Just try again. I hope it doesn't happen, but it happened twice in the earlier class. Bring your elbows into the inside of the knees. Take a breath in. We'll do up to 8. Inhale up. Take your chest out and over. Press down with your elbows. Inhale, come up. Exhale, fold forward. Gently pressing the knees down. 6 more like that, and hold the last one in the down position for 3. This should be the 6th one if you're going at the same pace I am. So coming forward and just holding, putting that gentle pressure on your knees with your elbows. Breathing into any tightness. 3 deep breaths. Bring your knees in. Stretch the legs out. And notice if you can feel any of that energy that you've generated from that in your hips. Any warmness, any tingling. All right, we're going to move into shoulder rotations. So I encourage you to try sitting in this base position. If it's too difficult, then cross your legs by all means. But if you can't, work on your core. So placing your hands on your shoulders, we'll do 8 in each direction. Take a breath in. Exhale, pull the shoulders down away from your ears, and then inhale, bring the elbows together and up. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. 7 more times. This one, I really highly encourage you to do this one as much as you can throughout the day. I was at a baseball game yesterday, or a softball game with my daughter. She's 15, and her boyfriend was there. And when she wasn't playing or wasn't up to bat, he's like this the whole time. And I know you guys all are like this so often, and me too. So notice that. Try to put these simple movements into your day. Go ahead and go the other way. So take a breath in and out. Inhale back. Exhale, elbows together. Inhale, open your chest. Good. And if you're hearing a lot of crunching, maybe just try a little bit smaller movements. See how far you can go without hearing the crunching. Same thing to go with if there's any pain. Make your circles smaller. You're just trying to lubricate the joints, get the energy moving. Once you reach 8, of course, you can bring your arms down. If you can, continue to sit here, feeling through your chest, through your shoulders. We're going to do one more just for the neck. So you have 3 to choose from. You can do up, down, looking over your shoulder, or putting your ear to your shoulder. So choose one of those, or if you want to do a combination for a total of 8, whatever one works for you. Inhaling when the head is back in the center, exhaling on the work or the movement. You're feeling that gentle stretch. Maybe doing 4 and 4 of each, choosing 2. And then sitting back for a moment, feeling through your hips, through the shoulders, through the neck. And we're going to move into 2 of the digestive exercises. So Pawan Muktasana 1 is the joint mobility, which is all the toe bending, wrist bending, and all that stuff, and just what we just did. And now the digestive. We're going to be doing the leg lift and the leg whack, which I believe all of you are very familiar with. So go ahead and come and lie down. If you're not, just listen to my words and I'll be describing each of those in detail. So bringing your arms to your sides, palms down in a V. If you know your low back bothers you, please bend the left knee to support the low back. Otherwise, that left leg should be anchored. Works best if the foot is flexed. You're going to engage your core as you're going to lift your right leg. So let your belly button dive down, take a breath in, lift the right leg up to that point where you know your leg is straight and your knee is not bent. Pausing, and then exhale, release. Inhale, belly button dives down. You're activating the muscles of the core, the abdomen, and then pause. Exhale, release. 6 more. You can let your leg hover. Again, that'll help strengthen perhaps the lower abdominal muscles, not letting your leg come all the way down. Really have your awareness on your abdomen. This is the digestive series, and although there's benefits to the hamstring, benefits to the hips, the awareness should be primarily on the core. I'm really feeling it in the hip today. And then relaxing and seeing if you can, again, tapping into that energy, feeling the difference. Maybe your right leg feels bigger. Maybe you feel more energy on the right side of the abdomen. And then shift the attention to the left, bending the right knee if you need to. Activating the muscles of the core by diving the belly button down. Inhale, lift the left leg up to the highest point. Notice, does this leg go up as high as the other? Noting any difference. Exhale as you lower, 7 more. Notice a tendency to want to swing your leg up. Take it easy on the way up, and especially on the way down as you work against gravity. Contract the abdominal muscles, lift the leg to the highest point, pause, exhale, lower. Then release, pulling through the hips. Feeling through the abdomen. And then moving in to the next one of the digestive series today, and that's going to be leg lock. So please, same thing, you can bend the left knee if you need to. Otherwise, just keep it straight and bend the right knee in, clasping your hands below the knee or on the thigh. Relaxing your shoulders. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring the knee to the chest. Peel your shoulders off the mat. Relax the shoulders at the top of the movement. Inhale, release. Exhale, then the knee comes in. You're massaging the ascending colon to start. Inhale, release. You're also working on your flexibility in your hips. You may feel a stretch in your quad. And of course, you'll feel a stretch if your left leg is straight right now. Keeping in mind the quote from the beginning of class, be kind right now. Be kind to yourself. Are you coming to the top of the movement and your shoulders coming up by your ears and you're creating more stress? Or are you just maybe coming up half the way? Maybe not all the way up, but you're feeling challenged, but it's not painful. Go to that. Releasing the right leg down, feeling through the whole right side of the body, from the abdomen, hip, all the way through the thigh. And then moving to the second side, bending the left knee, bending the right if you need to have your foot flat to protect the low back, clasping the hands underneath the right kneecap or shin, Flexing the right foot if you're keeping the leg straight. Relax your shoulders. Take a breath in. Exhale, bring the knee in. Peel your shoulders off the mat. Again, relax the shoulders at the top of the movement. Chin is off your chest. Inhale, come down. Exhale, knee comes in, shoulders peel off, and you pause. Feeling the contraction. Inhale, release. Exhale. The thigh comes against the left side of the abdomen, creating a little pressure there. Inhale, release. 5 more at your own pace. And releasing the left leg. Noticing how your abdomen feels. Noticing the hips as well as the hamstrings. And then roll over onto your abdomen. We're going to be doing the pranayama practice today from crocodile. So we've been working on abdominal and thoracic breathing, and we're going to be doing so today, just the abdominal breathing. We're going to do what's called rhythmic breathing, breathing in a 1-to-1 ratio. So that means you're breathing equally in and out. So when you're coming onto your abdomen in crocodile, you have a choice. You don't have to just be in crocodile. I'm going to give you a couple options. So crocodile, big toes together, forearms together, head in your hands, adjusting your arms. Now at any point, since the focus, I mean, obviously we're in this pose, but the focus is the breath. So if the focus no longer is the breath because your back hurts, then I encourage you to come down to your fists or down to the back of your hands. Now, another option today, we're going to be working probably starting next week on Cobra pose, is you can do easy Cobra. This is a similar extension in the back, but for some people who don't like to have their hands on their face, or if you don't, it doesn't feel as good on your back, try this. Elbows are definitely, your elbows are directly underneath your shoulders. It's kind of the position you might be in if you're going to do an elbow plank, okay? Big toes are together, so pick one of those or any one of those, okay? Lightly close your eyes or turn your gaze to your nose tip or on the floor in front of you. And just settle in to stillness, as still as you can be, okay? And as you're settling in, bring the attention to the breath, specifically to the pressure, if there is any, at the navel. So depending how deeply you're breathing, you'll feel some pressure at the navel with each breath. Now, if you're not feeling it, go ahead and start directing the breath with awareness from your nose to your navel. So begin abdominal breathing. And because we're in a little bit of an awkward position, you may not feel that you can breathe as deeply. Let's all choose the same number. So we're going to start with rhythmic breathing now, counting to the number 3 on the in-breath, and then 3 on the out-breath. So you're breathing in a 1-to-1 ratio. Now, if 3 seems too much, then count to 2. But 3 is a pretty low number that you shouldn't feel too much strain, hopefully. And you'll just feel a nice massage in the abdomen. So you're inhaling for 3, exhaling for 3, and going right into the next inhalation. If at any time the back starts to bother you, stay with the breath, continuing to breathe rhythmically, equally in and out. But come down to the fists or the back of the arms, or adjust the arm position altogether. Coming into easy Cobra. Putting the body in whatever position is comfortable where you can still maintain focus and breathing rhythmically, equally in and out. Now, if 3 is easy, see if you can up the count by 1. So count to 4 on the next in-breath. And 4 on the out-breath. If that's not easy, then stick with 3. Just another 30 seconds like this. Full focus on the breath in the abdomen, matching the inhale with the exhale. Rhythmic breathing. And your next exhalation, release completely, stretching the arms out, resting your head on the mat. And then taking your hands beneath your shoulders, pressing up and back into child's pose just briefly. Now come on to the hands and knees into table for that combination of the cow, cat, mountain pose, or downward facing dog. So organize yourself so you're in a perfect table. Your hands are directly underneath your shoulders, check. Fingers are spread out and you're grabbing the ground. The knees are about this distance apart and the toes can be rolled under so you're ready to push up into mountain pose. Relax the shoulders down. Notice if they're falling forward, pull them into their sockets. Pull the belly button up, engaging the abs. Take a breath in, arch your back, look up. Exhale, round your back, come into cat pose. Continue to exhale, press your hips back, flattening your back out, coming into mountain or downward dog. Inhale, come onto the toes. Exhale, straight back into table. Inhale, arch, cow. Exhale, round, pulling that belly button even further, closer to the spine. Exhale, lift the hips up, press your hips back. Inhale, onto the toes. Exhale, straight back down. 6 more for a total of 8. Inhale, exhale, continue to exhale, pressing up. The hands stay in the same position. The feet should too in this point because we're not holding it. So just both the hands and the legs should be pretty stationary and you're just moving in between both the hands and the legs, lifting up and pushing back. Continue. Breathing fully and deeply. Feeling the gentle, hopefully, extension as you inhale, flexion as you exhale, and then continued flexion as you push the hips back. Letting your head hang in that final position as you're in mountain pose. The head is hanging between the arms. When you get to the last one, which you probably have about 2, maybe 2 more or so, hold the final mountain pose. We're going to come to a standing position, but just hang on to it. Build a little strength. Does not want to stay in. So whenever you get there, the last one, holding, letting your head hang, maybe now pedaling your heels, stretching out the back of your body, bending the knees in, keep pressing those hips back, no tension in the neck. And then slowly either walking your hands to your feet or your feet to your hands, rolling up. Coming up to a seated position, or a standing position, sorry. Standing position. And we're going to finish just with a couple of the forward bends and then prayer pose. Okay, so, and then we'll come into Chiasterium, come into a seated position for the practice of Chiasterium. Bring your feet about a fist distance apart, pressing down equally into both. So if you're doing that, like really feel like the muscles activated, shoulders come up and back. And if you pick your toes up, you should feel the muscles be really strong. And if you feel a little bit wobbly, press down more firmly and equally through the whole foot. And then relax your toes. So we're just going to do the forward bend today for a total of 8. So starting with the hands on the hips, press down through your feet as you take a breath in and feel that the crown of the head's going up toward the ceiling. On the exhalation, press your hips back, hinging forward from the hips. Your head stays in line with your spine. You're looking most likely down at the mat, unless you're super flexible, and then you're looking back at your knees. Just stay here for a moment. And as you're just holding this pose, notice the energy, notice any warmness, maybe behind the knees. If that's not, again, if the warmness is not comfortable, soften the knees a little bit. And then on your next breath, come on up, inhale. And then exhale, just moving with the breath. So exhale, pressing back, feeling it in the hamstrings. Inhale, come up. Exhale, press your hips back, fold forward. Inhale up, 5 more. Holding the last one in the down position for 3 deep breaths. Softening the knees, especially as you're coming out of it and it feels uncomfortable. You can always soften your knees, still come up with a nice flat back to work on the flexibility and strength in the back, but that way you won't be stressing out the hamstrings or the back of the knees. And on the final one, holding the down position, relaxing the head, should just be looking straight down. Your head is in line with the spine. Softening your knees if necessary. And then inhale, pressing through the feet, coming up. Bringing the arms down. Bringing the feet together. And then just finishing in prayer pose. So this is, I've mentioned, is the beginning and the ending of the sun salutation. Okay? So just placing the thumbs at the heart. Lightly closing the eyes. And just notice if you can feel the energy of the heart. So feeling the beat of your heart against your thumbs. Knowing that this pose, and I've mentioned this, activates an energy center called Anahat Chakra that's at the heart. So just by standing here, you're activating that. You're hopefully getting it to function a little bit. And some days we need it to function. We need to do something to activate it because we're not feeling loving toward others, we're not feeling kind toward others, or we're not feeling kind to ourselves. And just standing here for a moment and maybe just thinking, how can you be kinder to yourself for the remainder of the day? Can you start to recognize those unkind thoughts that you have about yourself? And just witnessing how they come up and saying, you know what, that's not true. Those thoughts of not being good enough, not being flexible enough, not being smart enough. Because kindness starts with you and how you treat yourself. The kinder you are to yourself, which takes, again, like that quote said, a lot of self-reflection and work, you will be able to be kind to others. And it won't be fake kindness. It'll be true kindness because you will have felt it in your own heart for yourself, and then you can give it to others. You can't give something to others that you can't give to yourself. It doesn't work that way. So from here, take one more deep mindful breath with your hands at your heart. And then release your arms down. And prepare for Chiasterium. Now, when I'm looking at the clock, we may have time for the first 3 stages, something that we have not done. We have not done the 3rd stage. The first stage is settling. And as I'm talking, you're organizing yourself in a chair against the wall with blankets under your knees in any way that is comfortable. You want to be as comfortable as you can. Be kind to yourself as you get ready for this practice. So the first stage is settling. The second stage is body symmetry. The 3rd stage is the mirror visualization, and I will be keeping an eye on the clock to see if we have time for it. We may or may not. So stay tuned. If you're sitting cross-legged, I encourage you to try sitting. This is like an easy pose. I bring one foot in, and then I bring the other foot in. Not everybody has the flexibility, but this way I don't have my ankles folding right on top of each other, and that sometimes increases the amount of like discomfort in the ankles. So for me, this works. It's not the most optimal way to sit for meditation, but this is the way my body allows me to sit comfortably. So if your eyes aren't already lightly closed, close them if that's appropriate, or turn them on a spot downward on your nose or on a spot in front of you. And just continue to move and take your glasses. If you have glasses on, take them off now, please, so that you can have one less distraction. Weight on your face. This can be a distraction. Your hands are resting on your knees or in your lap, depending on how you're sitting. And you are checking to see that you have chosen a position where your spine can be straight as possible. So if you're sitting up against the wall, that's fine. Just lift up through the crown of your head, everybody. Relax down through the shoulders and your arms. Feel the position of your hands on your knees. And just allow the movements to continue. And they're just going to get a little bit more subtle as you settle in. Make sure that your eyes and mouth are just lightly closed, not holding any more tension in your face. And bring your full attention to your body's position. Become aware of the base of the body against the floor. Feel all of your body's contact points between the floor or the support beneath you if you're sitting in a chair. Be aware, make a mental connection between your awareness and the position of your feet, ankles, knees, hips, pelvis. Feel the strength in your trunk. So feeling the spine rising up from the stable base. Feel the strength in your trunk. In your next exhalation, make sure that you're relaxing down through the shoulders, not keeping any tension in the shoulders and neck, but relaxing down through the shoulders and arms. Check the position of your head. Your head should be in a neutral position, sitting right on top of your spine, facing forward. Maintain full awareness of this meditative asana or posture. From the tips of your toes and fingers to the crown of your head. And as you mentally observe the body, make a gentle effort to remain still throughout. As your body stills, you'll notice that movement is generated in various areas because of the breath. Bring the attention to those areas that are moved by the breath. Connecting to the breath, take 3 deep breaths in and out, using the breath to further relax the body and the mind, bringing it into stillness. And after those 3 breaths, let the breath return to its natural rate and rhythm, and make a gentle effort for the remainder of the practice to remain as still as possible. Body symmetry. Bring the awareness between the base of your body and the support beneath you. And notice how the body is balanced. Feeling the weight from the right side to the left side to the right. Noticing how the body is equally balanced throughout. The weight is equally distributed on both sides of the body. Notice the legs. Be aware of their symmetrical and equal placement out in front of the body. Both legs equally out in front of the body. Feel your tailbone and draw the awareness from the tailbone upward to the base of the neck. A straight line from the base of the neck to the tailbone to the base of the neck. And then take the awareness outward to each shoulder. And notice the perfect T position that's created by the shoulders and the spine. Bring the awareness now out to each shoulder, and take the awareness from the shoulders to both hands, both sides of the body, shoulder to hand. And feel the weight of the arms resting evenly on the knees or in the lap. Arms are equally distant from the midline of the body, balanced and even. Draw the awareness once again to the head. Now noting its placement right on top of the spine, the head facing forward, not tilted, the chin parallel to the floor. A balanced experience of the head sitting right on top of the spine, extending upward. Imagine the body now as a triangle. Head is the apex, the base of the body is the base of the triangle. Or perhaps choosing a pyramid or a mountain. Choosing a shape that conveys balance and symmetry. And stay with this just for a moment, staying with this visualization and feeling the stability, symmetry, balance, and strength within the whole body. The whole body in harmony. Now, wherever the awareness is, bring it back to your body. And just notice the amount of stillness that you were able to obtain and maintain in today's practice. And enjoy the last few moments of stillness, knowing that your ability to sit still will change from day to day and practice to practice. Be aware of the room around you, listening for the sounds around you. Be aware of the room that you're sitting in. And feel your body against the floor. So make the focus be on the contact points between your body and the floor beneath you. Bring the awareness once again to the breath. Connecting to the natural breath, and then using the breath to further externalize your awareness by taking control of it. And breathing actively, fully and deeply, feeling movement come into the stillness, as well as your regular level of alertness. Feel the body move with the deeper breath. And begin to slowly release your posture, ending the practice of Kaya body steadiness with movement. If sitting cross-legged, please bend one knee in to realign your knee, stretch your leg out. Bring the other knee in, stretch your other leg out. If your eyes are not open yet, I encourage you to, if you don't have your glasses on, to rub the palms briskly, completely blocking out any light. And then just start to flutter your eyes, opening your eyes into your warm, dark palms. And then bringing your hands down. And that's it. So we just did stages 1, 2, and 12. Otherwise, you would have been over for about 3 minutes. So from what I can tell, a lot of you are really doing a great job sitting still. I understand that it's not easy, but you are developing willpower, and you are developing, or at least you're starting to getting the idea of that sitting still is a way to kind of quiet the mind. And maybe you're not feeling it the way I'm projecting, but I'm hoping that you're going to feel it that way. But over time, it's like our body starts to habituate, our mind starts to habituate. When we try to do these things, we go, okay, I'm sitting cross-legged, I'm going to be quiet, I'm going to be still. So the body starts to still, the mind stills. So we will be doing this practice, I think one more week, 1 or 2 more weeks, then we'll move into another seated practice called Antar Mon, Inner Silence. And that's when we start to look at our thoughts, which I'm sure are racing in a lot of you. So that'll be the next practice. So I wish all of you a wonderful rest of your week. I'll see you on Wednesday for Yoga Nidra. Bye-bye.